Hello, 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 it's Kathy Bedell at MyStampingSpot.com coming to you with the Splendid Autumn Bundle. I have here the dies. I haven't even put mine on a magnetic sheet yet, but this folds up and you can make a little picture hanger. I've been using the center for words. A lot of great useful things here. There's a couple. I particularly love this. It's very different, that kind of fern leaf kind of thing. And the stamp set that goes with it is Autumn Expressions. So I just love this. I love this wheat. Very, very useful and nice. It also comes with this wild wheat ribbon, which I know a few people have said they don't love the wild wheat color. This, although yes, it is wild wheat, it does have almost a gold look to it. It's very pretty. And then the star of the show is the DSP, which I'm sure you've seen. It's beautiful fall foliage scenery on one side, and on the other is more useful, kind of solid, well, it's not really solid, right? It's kind of tone-on-tone background type papers. So I have chosen this piece to use, and really I'm using this piece because I want the blue sky, and this piece to use. Now, the first time I saw this technique, Patty Bennett had done it, and I'm adding my little flair to it. So we'll see what you think about it. So Patty Bennett added in the Grove dies, which, again, these are not on a magnetic sheet yet. But they have these cute little deer, and it outlines some tree images, and it has these great little leaves. And then it has this beautiful canopy foliage kind of thing, which I'm using. And I chose to use the deer. We'll see. I'm not 100% sure we're going to use them, but I did die cut them because, you know, we'll see how it goes. See what comes up. So this is a 6x6 piece of DSP. That is this piece. And I am choosing to put this blue behind it. So that's the back of this one. So as you can see, I just lined it up so I would get some of the purple on the bottom, like that. Now this is bigger than our card is going to be, so we're going to have to trim it down, but I figured we would do it together so that you could see. I have, let's start with this. I have a piece of copper clay, and I am going to score it at 4 1/4. Hey Janet, how are you today? And then I am going to cut it at 5 1/2. So my grandson is up visiting. We're at the zoo today. Beautiful day here in New England. What's it like where you are? Hopefully equally as nice. Now, this could go a few different ways. You could choose to double mat this. I don't think I'm going to because I'm going to have this blue behind it anyway. But first, let's cut this down. So I want to make this 4 by 5 1/4. I kind of like this path leading into the woods. So I'm going to see what it looks like, how much of the top canopy we have to cut off. Ooh, quite a bit. Okay, so I'm going to start with a 1/2 inch, like this. And then let's go to 4 and see what that looks like. Yeah, I think that's good. See how it's gonna, isn't that pretty? Okay, and I think I'm going to cut from this side. So I'm going to go to 5 1/4. 5 1/4. I was trying to line the tree trunks up with the tree trunks in the paper. That's how I chose where I placed my die. I'm sure there's a lot of good ways to do it. Just how I chose. Okay, now we need to cut this down. And it is going to show through up here. So I'm only going to cut it. Let's see. I want to go to 5 1/8. I'm just going to do 1/8 inch smaller by 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And that should do us pretty good. Yep, that's going to look good. Okay. I'll put my cutter aside for a few minutes and then we'll build. As you can see, I actually pulled this leaf because I thought maybe I needed something different from the autumn leaves dies. It's got the big leaves and some banner shapes. Not banners, but what's the word I'm looking for? Can't think of the name I'm looking for. Like a label. And then I did die cut a couple of little... Hi, baby. Sorry, my grandson just walked in. I cut a couple of deer in early espresso and a couple in pecan. I don't know what I'm going to use. You see these leaves? These came out of the autumn expression. That is this one and this one. And what I did was I took it right out of the center piece. So see, that's that on the back, and that's that on the other side. I was going to use this side, but when I was playing with it, it just blended too much. So I think I'm going to do the other side. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Hey, Donna, how's Washington? I have a frog in my throat today, so please excuse me. All right, let's just add some glue here. Oh, look, I didn't poke out all the... I did not poke out all the little pieces. Let's get that done. I don't know how I missed that. Now it has glue all over it. This will be the challenge of the day. I have my windows open. It's so beautiful here in the Northeast. It hit like 70-something, which is crazy for this time of year. Let's see, what else am I missing here? Couple more. There we go. And I think there's some on this side too. Maybe I can poke them from this way. Yeah, there we go. Can see them better on the less, what's that called? Like less printed side. Not printed, that's not the word I'm looking for. Okay. Now let's go back to gluing. The colors in New England are outstanding this year. I don't know if the trees change where you are, but the amount of rain you've had, the temperatures, how cold the nights are, a lot of it goes into play for how the leaves look. And they are very spectacular this year. Vermont was beautiful, yeah. 78 Missouri, that was like here too. Rainy, Donna. Okay, I'm going to adhere these. Rain is good. We don't always want to see rain. Isn't that pretty just like that? Like I said, this was a Patty Bennett idea, using these dies on this. And then I decided I'd give my own twist to it. So this is not straight, but I don't care as long as all those little holes have blue showing through, and as long as there's no blue peeking out the side. Like that. There we go. So it's crooked, but I don't care. It's like the one time I don't care it's crooked, huh? And I'm going to mount that right on the copper clay. Now, I really anguished over copper clay, Cajun craze. I just kind of liked that the copper clay matched, but it didn't blend in with this canopy. I liked that it was a little more distinct. Okay. So, like I said, I cut pecan pie, but I must admit, I do think to make it look more like silhouettes, I kind of like the early espresso better. I think I'm going to put them over here so that I can put a little greeting down here. Now, I thought white for my greeting, but that just seems so stark. So I brought over crushed curry, which I think I'm going to do, and I'll show you what I'm going to do to help make that look not quite so. Uh-oh, is my copper clay ink pad. I hope I have another one in my drawer here. Must be in a bucket from Club, which quite honestly I'm kind of surprised at. Well, you know what? I'm going to use Cajun Craze, and I'm going to test it down one end. My thought was to use this wheat pattern and kind of stamp off and then stamp on it just to mute it a little bit. That said, looking for a piece of scrap. This is a piece of scrap. Kind of like that. Just so it's not quite like bright. I just don't want it to be so bright. Now, I actually am going to use this Cajun Craze, and I'm going to stamp my greeting. I think I'm going to do Dear Friend, and then inside I'm going to put Grateful for You. So Dear Friend is nice and small, and it kind of fits the bill for what I have going here. And I'll show you why I say that in a minute. Because I want more of the scenery showing and less label, so to speak. Okay, I'm just going to test this here. See how straight I get it. Pretty decent. I'm going to kind of stamp it in the middle so I have room to play one way or the other. Like that. I am going to use this again for inside, but for now, I am going to just leave it like that. Now, here's where the tricky part comes in. I know I don't need all that. So, I kind of thought I would use these little twiggy things here somewhere. Maybe behind it. Like that. Oh, maybe like that. And maybe we'll just angle cut it. Because you know how much I love my angle cuts. Okay, let me get some. Let's see here. Or I kind of wanted my greeting over here. I don't know why, but I did like, I think because this is just so much darker over here, that I thought this would be kind of prettier here. But I do kind of like this mom being more in that open space there, kind of like in a meadow. So I'm going to pop her down with a couple mini dimensionals here. And we'll pop the baby down with a couple mini dimensionals. And here's a trick. If you offset these two deer, so that instead of looking like they're in a perfectly straight line, one's a little more forward and one's set back a little bit. I'll show you what I mean. Like that. It'll actually make it a little more realistic versus if you put the other one here and their feet were all in a straight line. Okay. Now, I'm going to add a couple little dimensionals to this. I should have regular size, but I'm going to go with the mini ones. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this one that's kind of leaning to the right. I'm going to attach it to this dimensional like this. And I'm going to let it stick out the end. Kind of like that. And then I think, oh, I kind of like that, So I'm going to add a little dimensional to the end of this one. So, you know what would be a good idea is to put this on an adhesive sheet. I'm going to try to tuck it in here. Like that. And then I'm just going to glue the tip down so that it doesn't get pulled off when it's coming in and out of the envelope. I'm not going to really glue everything. I like to leave some petals without glue because in my opinion it makes it a little more three-dimensional. There we go. I think I'll do the same with this. If some of the leaves, petals, whatever you want to call them, have a little bit of movement, then it's a little more three-dimensional. Oh, there, I like that. Now, let me show you what I did with this ribbon. Took a piece like this. Hey, Jennifer, how are you? And I know some of you had said that you don't really like this harvest color. But if you take a scissors and you very carefully kind of just cut that off, like that, comes right off pretty much. And then you can kind of just pull the threads. Now before I pull the threads, I'm going to tie a knot. Like this. Kind of in the middle. And then pull the threads like this. Then we'll give them a haircut. So what's making them kind of stay together is this white mesh here. So you may just have to open it like that. It probably would be better or safer to do it with a take your pick tool as opposed to your scissors. And then because I have this knot, it's going to be easier to kind of embed this in here a little bit. I'm going to try to put it under my dimensionals. I'm going to add another one here. Whoops. This is kind of the backwards way to do it. You could put all this on your tag and then adhere your tag. The reason why I didn't is because I didn't know exactly what I was going to do. Okay. And then I would just give these a haircut. Like that. And kind of make them wispy in different directions. Maybe you can cut some shorter, some longer. They don't all need to be the same height and length. It's kind of like when you give your little kid a haircut. You don't really want bangs. There we go. All right, now inside. I think I want to thin these a little bit here. You have to like who you're giving this card to. Just saying. Because it's a little bit of work by the time you do all the fancy stuff. So my dimensional is popped up funny here. I don't know why. I don't have a good adhesive there. All right, inside. So, dear friend, grateful for you. Grateful for you. So I'll stamp this inside. So make sure I'm stamping it straight. Okay, so that's in Cajun Craze. And then I'm going to reach for my Wild Wheat, which is kind of behind my light here. It's the one color I don't use a lot, so I hear you when you say it's not your favorite color. But it is great for this wheat image. So I'm just going to kind of, let's see, how are they going? They're going kind of, let's look at the picture. I'm going to, I guess I'll just stamp it right like that. There we go. Isn't that pretty? I love that. Okay, we'll put this inside. I would do a little better. When I went to tuck in that dimensional, it kind of folded over, so it's kind of making a bump here. And I'm afraid if I pull it all apart, I'll do a lot of damage. Okay, I might even stamp off like that, just to tone it down a little bit. Now you want to save these pieces because these will be great to die cut with. What do you think? I could put that pecan leaf in here, but that's too much. I think I like it just the way it is. What do you think? Can you please demo that ribbon again higher up? Sure. Okay. Want to take a shorter piece this time? So all we're going to do is you could do this with the take your pick tool. I prefer the scissors. I actually poke myself terrible with the take your pick tool. But if you don't want to be as risky, just put your scissors in right between this white stripe here and the yellow stripe. So just put that in and then kind of just, it'll tear real easy like that. And then you'll have to go back and do the other side. Same thing. You're going to, whoops, the glue on my finger. You're going to go right in and kind of tear. Again, take your pick tool, may be safer. But you know, I never lived that safe. Like that. And then once you have it apart, tie your knot. Now this one's a little short for my big fat fingernails. So hopefully I can get a knot. I tied a knot. I just did that because I feel like it's easier to control. Then you can pull these little fibers apart. If you don't tie the knot, it can be really hard to, when you try to separate them, they're everywhere. They go everywhere. And then this knot can serve as the anchor. So if you wanted to put it on a card like this, I'm going to sacrifice my blue sky piece here. Whoops. If you wanted to do that, with, say, a label over it, like that. Maybe a little leaf, like that. Having the knot there really helps to anchor the pieces together. So that's why I did the knot. Because, let me show you. Let me take this other half off. So I'm coming in to get the other half of this. And you know, don't throw away the white. You could do the same thing with the white too. It doesn't just have to be the yellow. So you can see this piece, the white really clung on. So this is going to be harder to get this yellow one to separate. So you'd have to come in here with your take your pick tool or your scissors and really start to separate these fibers. Like this. And probably pull them out one at a time because of the way they're woven into that white piece. But this is a bad piece. See how when they're separated, they're kind of all over the place. It's really hard to get them contained. Much harder because they're like staticky too, so they stick to you. So that's why tying the knot in them will really help with frustration levels and trying to get them organized to do what you want them to see. No matter what I do, they kind of just go, so just tie the knot, okay? Trust me on that one. You just want to tie the knot. All right. The only other thing I think maybe that would be good to add to this, if I have them sitting right here, they're on back order. I did notice the peppermints, you guys. The peppermints, this morning said they were on back order till next week, but they're in again. I just noticed them. So you can, these are the faux glass dots. You can get the peppermints right now if you've been waiting for them. They are available. I think I'll just put a little orange one here. So these are the faux glass dots. These are still on back order till next week. But there we go. If you love this card and you want to place an order and see what I have for the rest of the week, I have some fun folds coming. And we'll be using these products all week. And like I said, save your scraps because they're good to die cut with for leaves and whatnot. All right. See, I just thought that was too much here. But if you put that on, say, I don't know, maybe this pumpkin card here, or even this one where there's a bigger contrast, or like this one, might not be quite so bad. I'm looking for another. You could probably even get away with using it on this card with some kind of label. So there we go. All right, guys, I am very excited, and I'm going to tell you about something way early, way early, because I am so excited. You guys, have you seen or heard anybody talk about the new Splendid Autumn Suite that is coming up? Oh my gosh, it is so cute. And next month's Stamp Club by Mail. Oh, I didn't even bring all the products over. I'll bring all the products over tomorrow. But next month's Stamp Club by Mail is going to have the products to the suite. So it's going to have a half pack of the DSP, which is these little water guys and this water. It's going to have a full spool of this beautiful, this is called Lost Lagoon Cording. It's so awesome. And it's going to have the Riverside Irregular Pearls, a full pack, okay? So that comes to $23.25 without the shipping, without shipping that to me. So a half pack of the DSP. That's just one of the cards. I got glue here or something, so don't mind that. So that's just one of the cards. That is, I'm showing you early because it's an online exclusive starting November 5th. And I have a feeling that this Autumn Suite is going to go incredibly fast, and so I want to place the order for as many as I can early on, okay? So, and then this is the other one that's coming. It's the beautiful hibiscus that's coming, and like I said, I'll bring all the products over here tomorrow to show you, but isn't this gorgeous? This is one of those emboss and die cutting folders. Does all the work all at once. And all I did was I took a sponge dauber and just added some Flirty Flamingo to each of those flowers in the center. Isn't that gorgeous? So these are online exclusives for November 5th. This, you will get the products in your Stamp Club by Mail kit for November if you're interested in it. So I'm just putting it out there so everybody can register early so I make sure I get enough product. Because I will have to shut this down if the products go on back order. And this is another card. And this is my last card. Isn't those pretty? So these are the 4 cards for Stamp Club by Mail. And you'll get all these products. And like I said, I know it's early, but I'm going to put the registration out there early. And I just wanted you to see them. All right, you guys. I hope you have a great night. I will see you tomorrow. Not exactly sure what time yet. I'm on my grandson's time schedule. So, oh, I better close up my glue or else I won't be able to open it tomorrow. All right, you guys. Have a great night. I always thank you for being here. Bye, you guys.